What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today now with a Pocket Dimensions video walkthrough for you all. In today's video, we're going to be pushing through the nodes of Pocket Dimensions, specifically requiring the Disciple trait. So if you guys recall in my previous video, there's not that many characters souped up ready for this, but you know, I did have 5 characters in mind based on where I am in the game and the meta, the usages of them, and I found that these 5 are likely going to be the one I'm bringing in, and hopefully they can get the job done. So I'll just show you guys respectfully the upgrades here. Iceman, as you can see, T4s on both his ultimate as well as his passive. Maximized him to tier level 15 just because he is used in the late game raids for the mutant nodes. Next we have Black Widow here. I've used her previously in Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4. She's got a really good stun, a speed up, and she can also strip positive buffs. So I like her supportive capabilities there. Next, we got Black Bolt here. He's really just going to be providing a bulk of the damage. You know, his passive's really good. If we can get to the final round here with Ultron, he's definitely the Ultron killer, so it would be nice to utilize his abilities there. Next up, we have Nick Fury providing some buffs, some healing, summoning minions to soak up damage. So really, he's going to be there to just provide a supportive capability for our team. As well, don't forget, he's got the shield tag, so he's going to synergize nicely with Black Widow. And last but not least, providing value with Black Bolt and really allowing us to maximize the damage mitigation here as offense down with her passive. Seeing as how we don't have a protector, we can most utilize that here in this situation. So there you guys have it. Those are the 5 characters I am going to bring up for Pocket Dimensions. So we just go ahead now, hit Pocket Dimensions, and I believe just scroll all the way to the left, and this is where we can start now officially. So here we go. Here you guys go. Yeah, interesting. It does say actually here, the tag, they messed up. It says 5 Resolute characters, but it's actually Disciple. So let's go ahead and do that here. You know what, I do like having Black Widow in the middle, just because she's going to be invisible. So that means, you know, it's obviously she won't be attacked as much. Separates the chain attacks. We're not going to have an issue in these beginning nodes anyways, but it's good to set that up in the coming stages here. And honestly speaking, you guys, I'm just probably going to hit auto here just because I've already kind of sneak peeked, you know, how these enemies are. Very, very low, around 20-30k. So this is just going to be, I imagine a lot of players likely won't have issues. We're just going to auto this real quick so we can get through all this into the good, juicy details and gameplay in the later nodes here. So ideally, shouldn't have any issues. I believe the first 7-8 nodes, it's pretty fair game. It's only the last couple nodes that actually get difficult. But I like this team because you're going to see later on, especially once we slow things down, you know, there's just a lot of good support. There's a lot of good sustain, a lot of good healing. Again, we got Yo-Yo with the offense down. We have Iceman slowing and reducing damage whenever they have that slow condition. And as well, we have Black Widow speed up, stunning. So I mean, just overall, really good supportive team. And generally, I don't use Black Bolt for much anyways in this game, but his damage is going to be really good to get through these guys with them being lower team, lower power level. But later on, his passive is going to be nice whenever enemies get below that threshold where he just automatically utilizes his passive attack. So you can see, I don't think a lot of players are going to have an issue with the first few nodes just because the power level should be very, very reasonable. If you have any teams around 150k to 200, you should be able to blow by them. So that's why we're not having an issue at all whatsoever. So we'll just keep it going. I think by node 6 or 7, I'll probably start slowing things down to save my energy in those bigger nodes. But yeah, I don't expect there to be much issues with this. And the good news is with these Pocket Dimensions, if you guys can build it up, keep in mind this event's on for 7 weeks, right? So if you have the opportunity to build up these characters during those next 6-7 days, this is the opportunity to do so. And again, though, the big reminder is if you guys do finish Pocket Dimensions, keep in mind there's a 24-hour turnaround period before you can attempt it again for that second batch of rewards. So that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes if you're playing it close to the deadline, the date, and let's say you finish Pocket Dimensions with 6 days left, you may not be able to get that last that second rerun in. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of the gauge. Even if you can get a little bit deeper in there, at least you're getting materials, right? As you can see with each node, we're still getting respective upgrades and rewards here. Training orb fragments as well as gold. And obviously the catalyst, which is always very highly coveted. So we'll just keep going. Yeah, blowing through this real quick. Just because, again, we're starting off with a full-blown team, whereas before I was trying to do a minimum, but you know, given where my roster is, it's not really possible with the characters here. They just did not give a good variety and selection of characters for this, unfortunately. And I guess in their defense, they are just trying to get players to invest in more characters that haven't been invested in. But unfortunately, the caveat is that we have to now be encouraged to hoard materials, so that way we know which characters can be utilized, right? So that's really unfortunate. But yeah, that was a small sample size. Just that synergy you just saw right there with Iceman using his ultimate and then Black Bolt using his passive just to bring everyone down. It's just, like I said, I'm excited for the later nodes here to see what kind of team strategy is going to be involved here, because this is a very interesting team. Again, characters I don't normally use include Black Bolt and as well as Yo-Yo. So you can see the power level here now, starting in Node 5, they are actually getting higher now, 45k. We're still okay though. We're going to keep going, because I don't see any issues yet, and any reason why we don't have to auto, especially since if I'm aiming for the weakest targets, right? So even though I'm hitting auto, I am going to try and manually click on, weaker enemies such as, Rocket Raccoon. He's really squishy, but yeah, you can see it's going to be exciting to see how these guys do in the later nodes here, especially given their synergy. And again, Yo-Yo is going to be pretty clutch. There's no protectors on this team, so having her with the offense down is definitely adding a lot of value there. And then you can see passively Mick Fury support, just providing those minions to soak up damage is very much appreciated. He's got the defense up and that synergy with the shield. So we're getting lucky here with the traits here, definitely for sure. Here we go. Yeah, you can see some of these guys, some of these nodes are getting longer too, with 19 enemies to take down. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not strong, but still a lot of enemies to take down regardless. You can see some taunts here being in the way, but again, we have a very good mix of characters here. And Iceman just completely blows them away. I think out of all those characters in the Disciple listing, Iceman's got to be the only one that likely a lot of players will have boosted up. Especially if you guys are mid to late game and working on Doom 2 raids. Iceman's the only one that's part of the meta. Everybody else is pretty much characters that a lot of players have pretty much ignored or haven't invested in a while. So 7 minutes in here with the auto, and as well, now we got Node 5 down. And as well, so you can see here, even Mission 6, we're still around that 45k mark. So I'm just going to keep it going until I start seeing an increase in difficulty. But otherwise, I don't think there's going to be any issues. Usually it was the last node or two that were hardest in the previous Pocket Dimensions. So a lot of players likely are going to have a good time as well. But let's see how they do, just because this is not normally a team that we would have together, right? So in this instance, yeah, these shield guys can definitely stack up and do damage, but the moment we land an AoE damage on them, that's really where we can see a lot of beautiful damage. And I love Black Bolt's ultimate. You can just see how much he crushes them with his offensive output, especially now that I got him boosted up. I haven't invested in him in pretty much over a year, honestly. This is the first time, and again, main reasons for this event, right? So otherwise, the only other time you bring him up is if you're working towards maybe a 7 yellow Ebony Maw and you need him brought up to actually get leveled and geared up properly. So as you guys can see, we're up against a lot of shield here, so that's okay. Again, you just got to make sure you're aiming for the high damage dealers, but I wouldn't focus on characters like Captain America just because they're defensive minded. If you have a lower team, definitely aim for the squishier characters and as well as the ones doing damage, and really it's going to be supporting and sustaining your damage in these nodes, right? So as you guys can see, this is where I might actually start potentially slowing things down. We can see here that they're about 80k now, and there's quite a few enemies, so you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's start slowing things down here a little bit. I'm not confident in the auto win, but I'm going to take a stab at it first and see how these guys do, just because I'm not comfortable with that yet. So let's do some defense up here. And starting things off, we're going to do some AoE. Let's just see how we fare. I like aiming for characters like Black Widow and Hawkeye just because they have the support, right? They have blind. Black Widow can stun as well. So I do want to see if I can actually put some slow on them, reduce their damage overall. Beautiful. So Black Bolt's damage is still very prominent, even with these guys being stronger. So we just have to worry about bringing their HP down a bit and then let Black Bolt do his magic here. So absolutely, you can see that absolutely beautiful synergy. The offense down with Yo-Yo, I'm loving this. At least the cool thing about these random Pocket Dimension traits is that we're gonna get a little bit more theory crafting involved here, right? So that's really nice. I am actually gonna go ahead, give my team the speed up here. And I do like focusing characters like Jessica Jones because she does have the passive here in terms of being able to cleanse conditions. I don't like that. Excuse me, the special to cleanse conditions. So you want to get rid of her. And keep in mind, any of these characters that have been reworked, such as the Yondus, they're better now because with the new pocket dimensions, they do use the revitalized characters. So this is not the old Yondu. Keep that in mind, okay? So that's definitely much better than the old Yondu. That's why it's good to focus on them when you can. These rework characters do count. Unfortunately, yeah, Vision's good too because there's 3 of them right now, and they have dodges too, right? So we're gonna see if we can slow them down here. But you can see, yeah, we do have to be a little bit more careful. Definitely not an autopilot node here. Just if you want to make a mistake, it's going to cost you, especially since my characters can't be revived, right? Unless you pay the cost of it. So I definitely don't want to do that. I also want to save energy for the next wave. But I like Iceman's ultimate here, applying the slow conditions. Absolutely beautiful. And again, Black Bolt's damage is very much appreciated for these nodes here. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing here. You know what? I am going to go ahead and see if I can take down Black Widow just because she's squishy. Oh, beautiful. I love Black Bolt's damage. He's going to be very, very prominent for this. I can tell later on. Especially when we use him against Ultron, he's not even going to get a chance to revive. So, but yeah, I'm already noticing that these guys do more damage. So yeah, definitely can't be cocky here, you guys. Even with these guys only being 20, 30k lower than us, you can notice the damage they're doing. And also, half the characters we're using, they don't really have buff stats, right? So we just have to be mindful of that. As you can see, they're not exactly the tankiest. I would say the exception's obviously Black Bolt, but everyone else is pretty squishy, and we got 3 more nodes to go here. So we're making due time, but you can see once again, these characters getting another boost in stats here, all hitting about 90k now. So definitely got to be a little bit more careful. Aim for the characters that are squishier, such as Iron Man, and just focus on taking them down. So I am going to take this opportunity to summon some minions to soak up damage, but yeah, like I said, the Iron Mans, the Miss Marvels, they're characters we should probably aim for, just that way we're not getting damage from them. And I like Iceman here because the AoE slow is very nice, reducing damage overall, but giving us that turn increase over them. So you can see already not looking good here. You can see how squishy Black Widow is, unfortunately. I like her support, but my goodness, she can a couple of shots with her and she's down already, right? So we gotta be careful here. Keep in mind too, guys, we have unlimited retries. So if someone falls and you don't like the odds or the RNG that kind of aligned in this node, we can actually back out simply by hitting settings and hitting quit battle, and you could in fact just restart. But I'm gonna go ahead, see if I can finish off Crossbones, finish off one there. See how Black Widow actually stripped away Crossbones' positive buff too. That's another reason I like her. She's got some good support there. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can finish him off. So fortunately, even with these guys being stronger, they're still squishy. But the one thing to be mindful is again the damage they're doing, right? So we gotta keep slowing while they can. Finish off the cleansers such as Jessica Jones, and as well as a squishier enemies such as Iron Man. The Kree Reapers. They do damage. So for sure though. I am loving Black Bolt's damage. He's really proving himself and why he's a legendary. Hasn't been used much in the game as of late, but this is a good example of his damage output. I'm really appreciating how much work he's putting in for us. Especially when we have AoE attacks with Yo-Yo and Iceman, and he's honestly just providing such huge value there. So I don't like Miss Marvel's AoE damage, so I'm going to stun her. I'm going to see if I can just get some more minions to soak up damage here. I also like the minions that come about because if you get characters such as, a medic or an operator, they can definitely provide some additional support for our team that we much need. So for instance, giving that healing now to Black Widow thanks to the operator, beautiful stuff. Okay, let's see here. Applying the slow. Let's go ahead and now finish off Crossbones. Yeah, but you can definitely tell it's getting a little harder because these guys are hitting a little harder. But again, thanks to Nick Fury's minions, they're providing some supportive capabilities that we lack on our team. And as well as a true healer, right? It's really just so slow, sustained healing. We have more of a crowd control impact. But so far, so good, you guys. So far, so good. We don't have Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was a Night Nurse, or 2 disciples that are good as healers if you guys got a chance to build them up. But for me personally, I just didn't have them built up. So it didn't make sense to invest in that much gear. But I think we're going to be okay. We have a good synergy here. And again, so long as a controlled strategy with our team being working in tandem with each other, ensuring we have energy for the next node. And even though we're not full HP each time we start, we're okay so as long as we have some good buffs along the way. And wow, absolutely generous right there. 50 shards of Symbiote Spider-Man is one of the node completions there, so that's absolutely beautiful. As you guys can see, 2 more nodes to go, and this is considered the Deadpool node with the infinite revives in the past, but you know, again, it should be okay. I don't think a lot of players should have issues with this. We should be okay just going in with half HP. Let's see how we do. You know, the one thing again to be mindful is we have to aim for the high damaging targets. Unfortunately, there is going to be a Doctor Strange here as well, so we need to take him down so that he doesn't have a revive on the team. So what we can do now, however, is that let's see if we can actually yeah, because the Deadpools do have self-cleansing, so I want to see if I can stop their damage a little bit. But again, we need to take down Doctor Strange, so that way he doesn't have a revive. Okay, let's see how we do here. Okay, perfect. I love Iceman's abilities. Look at him. Just doing work that slow, giving us that advantage in speed, but as well as being able to actually reduce damage overall with his slow too, just given his passive where it's at. And I do, again, I want to take advantage of the striker here, being able to double strike, take down the damage dealers in Wolverine and as well as Deadpool. Okay, now, good stuff. Now that Black Widow is kind of sheltered a little bit, I like that. We don't have defense up, so I'm going to go ahead and use Nick Fury to give us those buffs. But again, we want to make sure that we're slowing these guys as much as possible. Iceman, he's definitely the MVP right now. Oh, and you can see why those Deadpools are dangerous, because with them bypassing any of the taunts, I'm going to go ahead and use Black Bolt there. And once again, Black Bolt just becoming absolutely crucial for this. His damage is so appreciated right now, and synergizing with Yo-Yo's protection of offense down is giving us a really good fighting chance. And again, we're going to focus on the damage dealers. So let's see here. You know what? I don't like Wolverine and Deadpool once again, so we're going to Shroud Black Widow here. And go ahead now and just, yeah, again, just try to get some strikes on him and then Deadpool as well. We're going to leave that Doctor Strange. That's okay. Let's see if we can actually stun Deadpool. There we go. Because, again, these guys won't be doing much damage if we take down their damage dealers. So we're looking pretty good. There's only one Wolverine left, and we're pretty much in the clear for this node. And that leaves us to the final node, too. So that's it's looking really good, guys. It's looking really good. Fortunately, they haven't hit too hard. Oh, man. That could have been bad if there was more negative conditions. So, you know what? Let's see if we can just take down Doctor Strange. I don't want him reviving. There we go. Offense down. Thank you. Now let's go ahead and see if we can finish off Wolverine here. And again, I could have brought Black Bolt and a Yo-Yo to tier 15, but I don't think it's necessary, guys. I think we have enough firepower and investment. No need to do that. I think that's just too heavy a little bit, right? And especially the fact that they only gave us 4 days to prepare. And, you know, this is kind of what I had best in my roster, and so far doing the trick, you guys. Maybe you can even get away with powering up lower than mine, the one I had. Iceman was already built up naturally, but I did have to boost up my Black Widow and my Nick Fury a little bit. As you can see, Black Widow really needed it, geez, because look how squishy she is. She's like constantly in low HP. So I mean, now we're in a good place, and again, we just want to get the job done, right? You definitely can't. I would say for these nodes, maybe if you auto it, you might have a chance to get lucky, but I feel like probably 1 or 2 characters would have died by now if I didn't pay attention. So that's the only caveat. However, as you guys can see with my Black Bolt and Black Widow constantly being low HP, I'm also saving their abilities now, trying to save it for the last node here. So I'm not doing too much, just want to keep basic attacking them. And again, now we're in a great spot. But once again, you know, half my team's low HP, but that's okay. It seems like it's getting the job done. We don't get hit a lot. And again, Yo-Yo's offense down is absolutely crucial. So there you guys have it. Last but not least, the final node. And as you can see, the one that's going to be of noting here is Ultron with his 127k. But otherwise, everybody else should be quite squishy regardless of the power level difference. So let's see how we do, even though we're not full HP. Let's see how this team does. I feel like we have the gear level, but it's whether or not they get lucky and attack us beforehand. So we don't even have the defense up to start things off. So we're going to summon some minions there. And what I want to do is let's just see how these guys are. I do like taking down enemies such as Mordo and Lieutenant first, just because they have the supportive buffs. We don't really want to focus Ultron just yet. Because of the fact that these guys have supportive capabilities, we need to be very, very wary of that. So let's go ahead. Let's slow a bunch of them. Absolutely love Iceman for that. Okay, and then again, if we can just clear the board a little bit with Black Bolt's damage. But you can see these guys are definitely hitting a little harder. So as you can see, yeah, Black Widow went down already. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna see if I can do this well, Black Widow. Does Black Bolt's damage do enough here to clear the board? Because that's what I'm ultimately interested in. If it looks bad, I can back out, and maybe I just need to heal them up But yeah, there you guys have it. That's another one down, so we might have to just restart here real quick. This might actually be the one that players will have a little bit of hard time with, just because, again, I didn't start with full HP. Let's see if I even have any credits I can use. So, yeah, I mean, I could actually potentially bring Black Bolt and Black Widow back to full HP just because I have the 2 credits. So let me do that, and let's see how we do. I don't want to use any power cores, but this should be able to do the trick, you guys. And naturally, when you're going through and you're not doing Dark Dimension, we should have those credits available already. So if you guys need to take advantage, definitely do that. I feel like it's also partially because we don't have the defense up right away with Nick Fury. So again, maybe I need to switch things up. Maybe I need to actually stun Lieutenant so that way they don't get buffs. But again, Mordo still has to go down though regardless. But he does get shrouded there, so not really a choice there. Again, we're going to go ahead, see if we can slow everyone down, reduce their damage overall. And maybe we can even just get away with taking down Ultron first thing, right? It's going to take a little bit of trial and error here, I think. What also hurts us is, as you can see, there's a heal block, right? So, fortunately, we can still use the buffs from Nick Fury, but it's just there's a lot of, as you can see, there's a lot of just characters in our way, and this might even be a 2 attempt here, but let's just take a look here. And these troopers, wow, they're doing some work on us, too, just because they're stronger. We got the buffs now, thanks to Nick Fury. Got the cleanse there, and let's see if we can just do a little bit of damage. And again, now that Ultron's down, definitely in a much better place than before. Let's focus on taking down these troopers though, and then Black Bolt once again just absolutely doing work here. I don't like these troopers, they do a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and finish them off first. And again, Yo-Yo looks like she's running out here real quick too. So we got to make sure we use her utmost. But let's see if we can take down these troopers. Mortals are unfortunately, they do get in the way with the heal block. But I feel like the damage output from the troopers just can't be ignored. So that's why I'm focusing on them. And now that we have this opportunity to utilize this double striker attack with Black Bolt, let's go ahead and do that there. And once again, the heal block. But fortunately, it did miss. So that's awesome. You know, with the dodges naturally from Yo-Yo. And that's okay. It just buys us a little bit more time now. Perfect. Here we go. Just gonna give some more buffs. Yeah, we're looking good, guys. 8 characters left. And again, a little dicey at the very beginning, but that's because now that I actually got them healed up, they were in a better place, right? So great time to actually use the buffs once again now with Nick Fury. Thank you very much. And we'll just go ahead now and just keep building up our energy. We're in a good place. We're in a good place. If we can finish off Sentry, we're gonna save our abilities for the next wave now. And there we go. The last wave here, guys. I do want to save her stun for actually someone useful, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I want to do now is, again, we're going to be focusing these troopers. These troopers do a lot of damage. We'll summon some minions, soak up damage. And then, again, Yo-Yo with the AoE damage there. And, again, Iceman, slow, absolutely beautiful support. The AoE is much appreciated. And seeing as how, yeah, I don't want them to get buffed, so what I'm probably going to do here is I'm just going to stun Lieutenant. And again, activate Black Bolt's ultimate here, completely wiping the board and just cleaning up here. We're going to keep continuing doing work on Trooper. And let's see if we can actually go ahead. Actually, and you know what? Let's stun Mortal with the security that we have on here, and then again, let's see if we can finish off Trooper. So far so good, you guys. The theory crafting is paying off. Seeing how 2 or 3 of these characters were already slightly built up on my team. And again, the 2 characters I did have to pay a little bit more attention to was both Yo-Yo and Black Bolt, because they weren't used too much in the meta anymore outside of them being in war, right? So I'm glad this paid off. This is minimal investment. I've only needed 5 characters in total, as you guys can see from that Disciple roster I was showing you, but it's looking good, guys. This is the team I don't need to invest any further in. So if you're using a similar team, you may not even need a team as strong as mine, but this is the one that did the job and it seemed to work. So absolutely beautiful. Yeah, just show you guys a refresh here of what we're getting first run around. And again, you're gonna also be able to see that it's gonna be locked down for 24 hours, right? So let's see if anybody else in my alliance actually did it. So, oh wow, looks like I was actually the first one. Beautiful. So beat everyone to the punch. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and brief video. Please feel free to fast forward to the node that you were looking at. But I think, again, the last node or 2 was definitely where there was issues. And once again, if you guys wanted to quickly see, where my roster was at, again, with the power level, I can definitely show you guys that here. So here you go, Iceman. We got Black Widow here. Black Bolt, again, tier 14, don't need to bring him up all the way. Maybe even tier 13, but his damage was much appreciated. Nick Fury was also tier 15. And then lastly, Yo-Yo is also tier 14. So out of the 3, only Iceman, Black Widow, and Nick Fury were brought up maximal. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helps you in your progression. Good luck with the rest of Pocket Dimensions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.